Why are people leaving your organization or your company? I get it. It is so frustrating. You put your heart and soul into your employees only to see them get up and walk out the door. It's incredibly frustrating, and now you have to start all over again looking for people. But there are a couple things I want you to consider. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm the creator of the Happy People Culture, a program that helps small business owners implement strong people practices in order to do three things: reduce your labor costs, improve employee morale, and grow your net profit. The reality is, people are going to leave you. They have lives and needs that they may not always communicate with you, and that's okay. They're always going to leave, so you have choices when they do. One, you could pull from a pipeline of talent that you already have in place. Or two, you could reevaluate the role that you need to fill and gauge what more you want out of it. So how could you take that role to the next level? Employees leaving is not necessarily a bad thing. While I know we all want longevity with our people, it's just not realistic to expect it. And I believe that when some people leave your organization, it can be a blessing for you. And take it as an opportunity. This is a chance for you to look at the role and reevaluate it. The people that are leaving may not be the right ones that can help you grow and succeed. There are always blessings in adversity, and we need to figure out what it is. So let's keep a positive mindset. The one measure I like to track that is a real indicator if you have a turnover issue is your 90-day turnover KPI. This is the number of people that leave divided by the number of people who leave but are still within their 90 days of employment. This number is important because if you can keep people for at least 90 days, then you're doing something right. You have a better chance of holding on to them, retaining them for at least 6 months or longer. So just as a side note, you need to decide how long you expect people to stay in any one role in your business. What are you hiring for? If you're hiring a part-time employee to run an ice cream shop, then 6 months might be a success. The difficulty of finding the right person for the role and the training costs and time should be two main factors in how long you should expect anyone to stay in a job. If you're hiring the general manager of the ice cream shop, you may need a full year just to train that person to be a success, in which case you may expect that person to stay in the role for at least 3 years. Our measure of successful longevity is directly correlated to the training time and the difficulty of finding someone for that position. So basically, what is the length of time it takes to get that person in that role to be productive? If it takes 3 weeks to train a part-time employee, then I want at least 9 months to a year. If it takes me a year to train them to be productive in their role, like a general manager or a member of the leadership team, then I'm looking for them to stay longer in order to be successful. And this could be anywhere from a minimum of 3 up to possibly 5 years and longer. That being said, let's talk about why people leave. I believe there are 6 factors. The first one is pay. Make sure that your pay scale matches the job responsibilities and is competitive with the marketplace. Do your research. For me and my company, I don't want to compete with the Targets and the Walmarts and the Amazons. So I bumped my hourly pay up $1 above the competition. Be strategic with what you pay, and you'll have a better caliber of candidates to pick from. Pay for the value of the person and not forcing them to prove it to you before you give them the pay they deserve. The second reason why people leave is because of your work culture. You need to really understand what your work culture is like. Is it positive? Is it full of gossip? Or is it uplifting? Conduct an honest survey from your people. Understand what's happening when you're not there. Talk to your leadership team and find out what's going on, because you will continually lose people if you're not investing in a positive working environment. Also, keep in mind, some of your leaders might be causing the toxic work environment if you have one, in which case that's a whole nother thing that you will need to address, and I'll talk about that in another video. The third reason why people leave is because they just don't feel valued. They feel taken advantage of. There's not a sense of collaboration, of being on a team. They're not being recognized for their contributions and what they do. keep in mind, I recognize you might be sitting there going, but I pay them for their work. That should be enough. Unfortunately, pay is not enough. So find ways throughout the year to recognize your employees. And it does not need to be over the top, but it does need to be sincere, heartfelt, and genuine. Some ideas might be giving apple pies at Thanksgiving time. Celebrate employees with an employee appreciation week, recognizing their birthdays and anniversaries. I've yet to meet a younger generation employee that doesn't love their birthday. Make a big deal out of it. They want to know that you care and you acknowledge that they are a valuable and integral part of your team. The fourth reason why people leave is what I call what's going on in their head, especially during training or in that first 90 days. There's a lot of young people today that are struggling with coping strategies in stressful situations. And you as an employer must figure out how to help them. Can you provide them support and comfort and encouragement they need to push through and just make it to the other side? How can you leverage your team to help that employee do it as well? We have a check-in process 3 times within their first 90 days as a way to continue to talk with employees and get feedback. When someone leaves you after just 2 weeks of training and you're standing there going, what the hell just happened? I promise you there's something in your training that is causing them stress for some reason, and you need to figure out what that is and nip it in the bud. But you also need to create a system of procedures that your leadership team follows to have those formal touch points and have those conversations with your employees to find out and dig underneath any concerns and stresses that they may have before it gets so bad that it causes the employee to quit or just ghost. The fifth reason why people leave is that they're just not a good fit. I actually love the people who recognize that they're not a good fit. They might try and give it their best, but they just don't like your job, or they don't like the environment, or they don't like the people, and that's okay. I'd rather them decide quickly. However, it does affect your 90-day turnover. If you have a lot of people leaving because they're not a good fit, then you need to go back and look at your interview questions and reevaluate the type of people that you're looking for, and do your interview questions align with that type of person. Because if it's happening a lot, then it's something with the questions that you are or not asking, and get clarity on the type of person that you're looking for. I am a big believer that there's responsibility on all sides, and every bad situation can have a learning experience. So what can you learn if somebody's walking out the door after 2 weeks? What can you take away from that can help you better hire people who are a better fit for your position? If you need an accountant, then you need to hire somebody who likes math. If they don't like math, they're not going to be a good fit. Make sure that the questions and the screenings of the people that you're looking for match, and dial that in and make it even stronger. Just because you have an interview guide doesn't mean you can't keep changing it. We revise ours every 3 to 6 months. Finally, the sixth reason why people leave is because of life. We all have lives. You just never know what's happening in their life. They may have a major life event going on. School, a new baby, a death in the family, sickness in the family. And now your job just may not line up with the hours or the priorities, or their priorities have changed. Recently, we just had a longtime manager resign after 5 years. He's really helped us grow, and we've poured every bit of training and knowledge into him over the last 5 years. We've trained him in how to be a leader, his time management skills, his communication skills, you name it. We've given him endless amounts of training. He had a baby a year ago, and he's decided he needs more of a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday kind of job. And my business is not that. And so he made a choice to leave, take a step back in pay in order to get the hours that he wanted. It's incredibly sad and frustrating, as he's literally derailed my last several weeks. And I've had to figure out interviewing and trying to find a person to replace him, which is fine, completely fine. But as I sit here and I reflect, I know that he was potentially capped. he would not have been able to take our company to the next level. And I needed to find somebody who had higher leadership skills that could do that. I had to train so many basic leadership skills into my old manager that I would be training him for the next several years just to get him to where I needed him to be. And I was completely willing to do that. But now, faced with having to replace him, I can now bring somebody in that has a higher level of leadership skills that I don't need to train. So there's my opportunity. While I appreciate everything that the past employee has done for us and led our team of 30 employees, this is now an opportunity for myself to raise the bar and find somebody of an even better fit for that position. So if you're struggling with retaining your employees and lowering your training costs and turnover costs, check out my website and download my free checklist to see what people practices you have in place to create a positive, happy people culture. I would love to be a part of your business people practices and help you succeed in managing people. Check out the website at happypeopleculture.com, and I will see you next time.